came. There were so many discrepancies in this naturally because this was the first effort. अब इसमें काफ़ी सारी discrepancies थी because ये first effort था उनका. तो though there were a lot of discrepancies and that is why it had to be amended in a great deal and finally come what we call CrPC 1898. अब हमारा 1898 का CrPC आ गया बिकॉज हमारे पहले वाले में जो काफ़ी सारी डिस्क्रिपेंसीज थी तो उसको मैन करने की जरूरत पड़ गई. दिस वाज द बेस्ट कंप्लीट कोड comprehensive code and that is why it stayed in India till 1973. अब after independence क्या होता है कि we have a lot of objections regarding this CrPC also. This the criminal procedure code 1898 had many defects. Like the first defect was India was now a socialist country and India was now a socialist country. It was more giving more rights to poor. So firstly, it was not in socialist in nature. First defect was CrPC was not in socialist nature. CrPC was not in socialist nature is the first defect. And natural justice was not very properly followed because there was rule of British. They were tyrants to the India and doing a lot of injustice with Indians. So natural justice was not followed in the 1898 code. Third defect was there was no difference between the executive and judiciary. This was against our Constitution of India as Article 50 very clearly says that there must be a complete separation of power between the executive and judiciary. तो थर्ड डिफेक्ट हमारा आ गया कि लेजिस्लेचर एग्जीक्यूटिव में इसमें कोई डिफरेंस नहीं रखा था इस कोड में, तो जो कि हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया के अगेंस्ट जा रहा था. इट अल्ट्रावायर्स द सुप्रीम लॉ ऑफ द लैंड. नाउ हियर देयर executive and judiciary were rolled into one. The collector was also playing the judicial role. That is a reason why this had an inherent problem. So as a result, what happened? The law commission was asked to write a new CrPC and there were many law commissions report. 41st Law Commission report of 1961 forms the basis of today's CrPC. Law Commission wrote the fresh CrPC as per 41st Law Commission report of 1969 forms the basis of today's CrPC. Law Commission wrote the fresh CrPC as per our Constitution and whatever the glaring defects were there in the old CrPC, all of them were removed. अब 41st Law Commission जो 1961 की है, ये हमारा बेसिस है हमारे जो आज के CrPC की. तो ये फ्रेश CrPC लिखती है अकॉर्डिंग टू आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया, और जो डिफेक्ट्स पाए गए थे हमारे पुराने वाले कोड में वो सारे इसमें रिमूव कर दिए गए. नाउ व्हेन आई कम टू न्यू CrPC, अब जब हम न्यू CrPC में आते हैं तो इफ आई गो विद द न्यू CrPC a lot of aspects were covered. Firstly, अब इसमें काफ़ी सारे aspects covered हैं, like socialism is clearly reflected in CrPC, whether it is law of maintenance, law of victimology, legal aid, we find that it is definitely helping forward what we call the law of equality equality, and socialism. Second point is, this is the for less cumbersome code. It has avoided delay in investigation and trial. It envisaged a day-to-day trial in section 309. So that is the reason why there was it is to avoid delay. Third point is, the procedure was very complicated in 1898 code, but this code is very organized code. The biggest achievement of this new code is that it completely separated the executive and judicial powers. Though executive courts are criminal courts, section 6, but then the powers of executive courts are purely preventive in nature. Now there is a complete separation of judiciary, section 6 completely. Executive magistrate courts are different. Now 107 onwards 5 kinds of executive powers दी गई हैं, which are completely preventive in nature. Okay. Before an offense was committed, an executive magistrate का रोल होता है, and after the offense has been committed, the judicial magistrate आ जाता है. After the offense is being committed, judicial magistrate. So basically, the job of the executive magistrate is to prevent the offense. See, when we go in the Police Act 1861, अब जब हम पुलिस एक्ट 1861 में देखें तो उसमें main job of district magistrate is to maintain law and order, prevention and detection of crime. Okay, so how to prevent from being offense. अब offense को commit होने से कैसे prevent करें, क्वेश्चन ये राइज होता है ना. तो इसके लिए CRPC में पावर्स दी गई हैं, किस तरह से ऑफेंस को हम प्रिवेंट कर सकते हैं. नाउ इफ वंस द ऑफेंस इज बीइंग कमिटेड, देन द क्रिमिनल जस्टिस सिस्टम स्टार्ट. अब एक बार जब ऑफेंस कमिट हो जाएगा तो उसके बाद फिर हमारा क्रिमिनल जस्टिस सिस्टम एक्शन में आ जाता है. अब क्वेश्चन राइज होता है कि बेसिक ऑब्जेक्ट क्या है इस न्यू प्रोसीजर का. व्हाट वाज द बेसिक ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ दिस न्यू प्रोसीजर. तो इसका केस क्लोज है सुप्रीम कोर्ट. सो व्हाट इज द बेसिक ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ दिस न्यू प्रोसीजर. पुरुषोत्तम मोंडकर वर्सेस स्टेट 1956 सुप्रीम कोर्ट. इन दिस case, Supreme Court held that the primary object of criminal procedure is to ensure a fair trial of the accused. अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट में हेल्ड हुआ कि प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्ट इस क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर का फेयर ट्रायल है ऑफ द अक्यूज्ड. ओके, तो फेयर ट्रायल हैज naturally two objects. It must be fair to the accused and it must be fair to the prosecution. These are the most beautiful lines given by the Supreme Court. अब क्वेश्चन अराइज होता है, अब नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन अराइज होता है कि इज CRPC अ प्रोसीजर. अब नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन अराइज होता है कि इज CRPC अ प्योरली प्रोसीजरल लॉ. चलो देखते हैं गाइस इसमें कि CRPC हमारा प्योरली प्रोसीजरल लॉ है कि नहीं. ओके, procedural laws are also called adjective laws. CRPC has many substantive parts also. Firstly, it creates a new sentence, a new punishment which is not given in IPC. That is admonition. Section 360, it creates a new offense. Second, there are certain parts of CRPC which are substantive in nature. अब कुछ पार्ट्स सीआरपीसी के सबस्टेंटिव नेचर के हैं. Example section 345, 350, 349, where now the court has been given a punishment power. The entire law of public nuisance is in section 133 to 143. All these are substantive nature. All these are substantive parts. When we have maintenance proceeding here, when we have maintenance proceedings here. Maintenance is a quasi-civil matter, but it is here. So one thing we always must remember, it is not a purely procedural law. It has a lot of substantive parts also. It is a mixed bag. We cannot read CrPC alone. We have read it with IPC. Okay, thank you.